Hi, I'm Shumanta Chattopadhyay, Chairman and Chief Creative Officer of 82.5 Communications. With me is Kapil Arora, the CEO of 82.5 Communications and my co-chairman. 82.5 Communications is an India-focused ad agency. We are a WPP company that is part of the Ogilvy Group. We have offices in 4 cities in India. While Kapil and I are located in Mumbai, the head office, we worked on this campaign for Aangan Trust with our Bangalore team. The creative team there that worked on this campaign consists of Ravi Kumar Cherusala, Mukund Sharma, and Sunil Krishnan, and they were ably supported by the branch head Naveen Raman, who also doubled up as one of the photographers. Our client is Aangan Trust, an NGO that works primarily with children. They protect vulnerable children from trafficking, exploitation, and violence. During the pandemic, they have decided to shift focus a little and help all victims of domestic abuse, be they children, adults, or the elderly, women, or men. Aangan Trust is founded by Suparna Gupta, an award winning social entrepreneur. She is a close and old friend of ours. I will now hand it over to Kapil to take you through some of the alarming statistics, both globally and in India, that surround domestic violence, particularly during lockdown.
Thanks, Shimo. Our story actually began on April 6th, when in an address to the world, the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, he spoke about highlighting the issue of domestic violence and the rise of it during lockdown period across the world. So when we looked at the statistics, it was alarming because across the world, whether it was the US, UK, countries like France, the Middle East, New Zealand, the number of cases that had risen ranged from 25 to 100% in just the first 2 weeks of lockdown. And that was horrific. And when you looked at the numbers in China, the number of reported cases in Feb 2020 was 3 times the number of cases in Feb 2019. Clearly, we had a very, very big problem at hand in which domestic abuse victims were stuck in the same premises with their perpetrators and were even scared to move out, go to hospitals to seek help because they were worried would they contract the virus over there. When we looked at this conversation, brought it down to India, we spoke to our friends at the Aangan Trust, we realized that they were facing the exact same issue of really heightened number of cases. And while they were trying their best, the sad reality was the collective mind space of the country was completely preoccupied with the virus itself and the visible effects of the virus on health and employment. So our task, in a sense, was to bring the invisible conversation of domestic violence to the fore.
So, as Kapil said, during the nationwide lockdown for COVID-19, vulnerable groups like women, children, and the elderly have faced violence of unspeakable proportions where they should feel the safest, which is in their own homes. In the first week of lockdown alone, one hotline received double their usual number of calls to report abuse. But because the survivors are trapped indoors with their abusers, making an emergency call may become impossible for them, which is why, as friends and neighbors, it's important for all of us to look out for them and, if need be, make the call. So that's what we had at the back of our heads while thinking of the campaign. Now, the mask is a regular feature of our lives today. Everybody is wearing one. The idea of this campaign was to go behind the mask and identify and help the people who might be victims of abuse. Now, while our creative team at 82.5 is strong, creativity is not restricted to them. For example, while we were working on this brief, Kapil sent me a photo of himself with his mask like a blindfold over his eyes, and that became one of the ads of this campaign. Early on, we decided to run this campaign past Piyush Pandey. We all know he's the creative head of Ogilvy Worldwide. He appreciated the idea and gave one key input, which was not to demean the mask in any way while coming up with the lines for this campaign. And because we shot this campaign in lockdown, the photographers are our own team members, again, not all from the creative department, and the models are their family members.
So the 2 things we'd like your support on revolve around one word: awareness. And we'd like first a sense of self awareness because this is a very real problem in your country, in your vicinity. So during the lockdown period, if you can just reach out to your friends, extended family members, and just look out for them, check on them. Are they doing okay? That's the best thing you can do to help combat this issue. And the second thing is every country has a number of organizations doing some very brave work in this field. We all owe it to them to multiply their efforts by building awareness for their campaigns. So please do that in your respective markets.
So I'd just like to end by saying thank you to WPP TV for featuring this campaign. And I would just like to add that we think it's really important to raise awareness for this issue worldwide. And we would be happy to help in any way we can. So anybody in any other market wanting to do a campaign on this issue, you can reach out to us. You can use our concepts. You can adapt our visuals. You can adapt our ideas. But please, let's work on together trying to solve this problem. Thank you and namaste.